Welcome everybody back to the beginning of season 7 of Entertainment Evolved. We will be back in the studio soon, but today I have a very special guest. I have the Crochet Fairy. I have Kaye with me today. And we are going to be doing something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. This is our first time doing something like this on the show. We are actually going to be ranking all of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books. And we are both huge fans of those books. And so, as a result of that, we have the S tier, which is the highest tier you can get. This is like the cream of the crop. And then we have A, B, C, and then since we don't consider any of his works to be a D, that is going to be a did not read. As you can see, that's just stuff we haven't gotten along to reading yet. By the way, our background software thinks that Kaye is ethereal at times.
It's okay. If I fuzz out, it just means that, my base level of anxiety increased and I disappeared.
That's a nifty trick.
Yeah.
Is that light weaving? Is that what that form of light weaving?
That would be wonderful. See, there I went.
Yep. But we are going to try to do very minimal spoilers. So we have a lot of friends that are reading their way through the Cosmere right now. So we're going to try to, at least, especially on the more recent stuff, to not spoil anything and just kind of talk in broad strokes about it.
See, that's harder for me because I love spoilers.
Yes.
But everybody else hates them.
Yes.
So I'm going to do my best.
This is very true. So
sorry in advance.
So I think we'll just get it started, and I think the best place to start is probably, it's got to be with Mistborn, right? So
yeah,
so we got Mistborn. This is like I think a lot of people's recommended intro to the Cosmere. We've
got where you got me started.
Yeah, that's where I got started. It's so easy to fall in love with Vin as a protagonist, main character.
She's very relatable.
And then of course Kelsier is wonderful. So yeah, my cat is named after him. So where do we want to put this one? What's your first initial thought?
S.
Yeah, everything can't be. She wants everything to be S.
I do. I want everything to be S, but I'm not going to do that. But I think that Mistborn, because it is it hooks people, it should probably be an S.
Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see an S for Mistborn because it's also self-contained. Too, if you just want to read it and enjoy it, and then you don't want to journey off into this giant list of books that we have here,
yeah,
then you can. You shouldn't, but you can.
Yeah, you really shouldn't. There's so many other great things.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just because of how freaking great it is as an introductory story, and because of how awesome Vin is, yeah, I agree. We'll put that in the S category. Well, if that's the case, then I know we're not going to agree on this one, but the sequel to Mistborn, which is not Hero of Ages, but Well of Ascension.
Yeah, everyone doesn't seem to like this one as much as I do.
It is
which is basically the context for most of these books that other people have opinions on that vary from mine.
It is my least favorite thing on this entire list, I think. From what I can tell, yeah, it's my least favorite thing on the whole list.
Okay, so. Yeah. I can go with it's not at the top. It is my least favorite as well.
Can you go with a C for it?
A C? No, I cannot.
Okay, how about a B then? Can we go B? Keep in mind, if Well of Ascension can't be a C, then I don't know what would be in the C category.
Oh dear.
At all.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't know what we would put there if it can't be. Well of Ascension. You're not going to put Trust down there.
Okay, but how about it's a C plus?
Okay. We'll go in here later and Photoshop a little plus there for Well of Ascension.
Okay, so why do you hate it?
It's not okay. So nothing on this list is bad, right? There's not a single thing on here I would consider to be bad. It is so very much a part 1 of 2. I think Hero of Ages should have just been 1,000 pages, and then it's just Well of Ascension to me doesn't stand on its own as a book. It is so much build up for Hero of Ages, which it's crazy because Sazed is very front and center. Marsh gets a lot of action in Well of Ascension. I love both of those characters. I just it just drags for me, and it doesn't
And see, I
it doesn't
just
pop.
finished it in a day.
You yeah, but that's you.
I know.
That's true. Yeah.
See, it didn't, um, the books that everyone says drags, they didn't drag for me.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, now I know a lot of people loved it though. I mean, I don't think
I
that.
can see where it's definitely a part 1 of 2, though.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't it's not its own book really.
was it planned that way, or did maybe, like, the publishers say, "You should maybe make this 3 instead of 2?"
Oh man, so I really hope nobody from Sharkcast ever watches this because they'll be very disappointed in me. But I want to say that Brandon wrote all three Mistborn at the same time in the first era. Second era, it wasn't like that. He wrote them as they came because it wasn't even planned to be a thing. So
Which I think is very noticeable.
it is, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, I'm comfortable with it as at a C,
Plus.
C plus. Yeah, a C plus. Uh,
Oh, I disappeared. Oh my
you're
okay,
back.
okay, I'm back.
You're back. Hero of Ages though. We got to go to the finale of the trilogy next. This is an S for me. I love this book. It's got one of the best
Mm.
endings of anything I've ever read.
Oh, I disappeared. I love it. Spook takes a
Yeah,
much larger
role in
part
this
in
book.
this one, and I love Spook. Um, and so that was very exciting for me. I was very happy and kind of wanted to skip over some parts to get back to his.
Yeah. Um, the ending of this is so good. Like, I know people that just want to read Tress, and I'm like, don't do that to yourself.
Mm-mm.
Like, it spoils the ending for Hero. I'm like, if you just really want to read Tress, I'm like, read the Mistborn trilogy, and then you can go right to Tress from there because it
Yeah,
doesn't really spoil anything else, but it does spoil the ending for Hero, and like, just don't do that to yourself.
yeah.
Are we okay with an S for this one?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay. I didn't think I'd get much of a
No,
fight.
I'm not gonna fight you on that one.
All right. So naturally, I guess where we would go next.
Do
You
okay,
want to do Elantris and Emperor Soul? I know you haven't read Emperor Soul, but
sure.
okay. Elantris to me,
I will give you that you can tell us his first.
you definitely can. The way I've been telling people to read Elantris in the reading orders, I've actually been telling them to read it late because of how much it influences Rhythm of. Well, it's lightly Rhythm of War, but heavy influence from Emperor Soul and Elantris on Lost Metal. So I've been telling people like you should read it at the end. If you read it at the beginning, it's not going to come back up for a long time.
Yeah, and I've just read it this year.
Yeah, you read it before Lost Metal or after? Was it before?
Right before.
Right before. Um, I think it's a fantastic work. But you definitely like I read it coming off of Rhythm of War. You go right into it, and it's like okay, this is his latest Stormlight book. You know, like his magnum
Versus
opus versus his earliest book. And there's so many glaring things where you're like, he's evolved so much as an author.
diversity in names.
Oh God, all the countries are everything. It's just yeah. Yeah, but there's some great characters. Like his character and world building was I mean top notch even then.
Yeah. I oh dear, how do I I'm trying not to do spoilers. Um, there were things that I really like that come up later
Mm,
that I'm happy had personality.
yes,
Do you follow?
I follow that.
Okay.
I follow it 100%. I think the thing for this one, I'm gonna go. I'm leaning like B for Elantris because there's like 100 pages I would like to take out, and I think it would be a better book for it.
What the
The
whole
city
the
buildings.
sitting build that's what I thought you were gonna say. I don't mind the city building.
I like the city building. It just went on too long.
Reason that it took place. I just think I could go with it being a little shorter too.
Yeah, yeah. They just it was too long. So. Are you okay with a B for Elantris then?
Yeah, I'm okay with a B. I
Okay.
can give it a B.
Okay. Otherwise, we're gonna have a really long S tier up
Yeah, that's fair.
here. Okay.
So we're gonna put where would you put Emperor's Soul? Because I
Okay.
haven't read that one.
Emperor Soul for me. is right here. Emperor
Really?
Soul is amazing. Yeah. Our friend Lauren over at Coffee and Lore, shout out to her, just read it, and she was like, "This is tremendous." It's a little short novella, basically, but there's a lot of people that like, and I think that they're like, okay, if I want to introduce somebody to Sanderson's work, most people say Mistborn, but a lot of people say Emperor Soul from a like, this is such a great author standpoint. So yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Plus, it would be it's a novella, so it would be tiny.
Yeah, and you're not jumping into a trilogy immediately. You can read this standalone and never read Elantris. It takes place on the same world, though. It's on Cell as well. So
That's cool. Okay, well, is it?
it's in the Arcanum.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Yeah,
fixing to ask. And then
yeah,
I got to looking on seeing if the Arcanum was up there, but it's not.
yeah. It's all broken up,
Yeah,
but
good.
yeah. So yeah, it's in the Arcanum. I guess since we are here, I will talk about White Sand too, because you also haven't read that
I've
yet.
started it, but I'm only like 30, 40 pages in.
I haven't finished it either. So I think because of the how impactful the Sanderlanche is, I don't think it's fair for me to rank it. So I'm gonna stick it in the D category down here, that did not read.
Until
Um,
we finish it.
until we finish it, because the I mean, it's a Sanderson book, so the ending could just be phenomenal. Right now, like where I'm at though, I think I'd probably place it in like a B level. I it's hard though, because I really love Chris. Like Chrysala is one of the my favorite characters in the whole Cosmere.
Oh,
Um,
that's hot.
and then Kenton is very awesome too. So your two like main protagonists there are great so far. I'm really loving it. So
So where do you want to go next?
um
Air
well,
2?
yeah, let's do Era 2. So Alloy of Law.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah. I agree.
I do think that
It's a fun read.
it is a fun read. I do kind of feel that Oz's assessment of the bad guy is kind of right.
Okay.
Where he's like it wasn't as intense or as like I don't know. He read Mistborn Era 1 and immediately went into Era 2 and so he's
Well, not immediately. We skipped something.
oh
We forgot Secret History.
yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Secret History is an S for me.
Oh yeah, me
Yeah.
too. So just go put that
Yeah,
there.
this is a secret. And here's the thing: if we're not doing spoilers, we can't say shit about
No,
Secret
we
History.
can't say anything except for it is amazing.
This is a like a comfort read for me, and I don't have very many of
It's a
those.
comfort read.
Yeah. I've listened to the audiobook just on a drive. Like just it's such a like comforting thing for me. I love it. So
See, Tress would be that for me as a comfort
nah,
read.
yeah. Yeah. So but Alloy of Law, now that we Secret History, like I said, we can't say anything. Alloy of Law, like I wish it didn't spoil the Eric one, because there's so many people that I feel like I could immediately just pull them into the Cosmere if I started them with Alloy, but I
Right.
can't, because I'm like, you have to see all these great, amazing things. So,
It's so good. And Wayne is my favorite.
oh yeah, yeah,
And his
tremendous.
love of hats.
Do we want an A for Alloy?
Yes.
We're
I'm not gonna
people are gonna turn their noses up at that, but it's okay.
I'm not gonna give it an S because Steris is not Steris.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and I mean, Marcy really got
yeah.
the she's in it.
But nah.
Yeah. So this book is really about introducing you to Wax and Wayne, and kind of like where the world is 300 years after things happen. So he does great at that. Yeah. So
I really did like all the nods to the Era One books. Like they don't let you forget that it took place.
yeah.
And I like
Um,
that.
Shadows of Self. Then where what you think about that one? Is that and it was like a good?
Okay, I would say an A because Stairs becomes Stairs.
Uh,
And I really, really love Stairs. But she doesn't really I don't know, she doesn't really show her awesome until this book. So I would give it an A, but then the heart wrenching stuff it's very
there's two moments in this book that definitely solidify an A for me. And I can't talk about either of them, but you know what they are.
If you know,
And
you know.
and literally like in both of them, like I had like I was listening to the audiobook because I with a couple of these I went back and forth between the text and the audio, and this was one of them. And for both of these moments, I just so happened to be on the audiobook, and I'm like driving down I-20, just sobbing, just uncontrollably for both of them. So yeah, this one is one of the most emotional books in the Cosmere to me, and it's a huge gut punch. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm definitely down to put it there.
Bands.
Yeah, what do you think about bands?
I liked bands. I didn't like it as much as I like Saturday's Stuff or Lost Metal, but I like bands.
I'm there too. It's much more of a action adventure type book than any of the other ones, I think.
It had moments where it definitely had me crying, but it wasn't as intense to me as the other one.
But it's definitely like it feels like a big side quest almost.
It does.
And it like it's almost like Alloy Shadows and Lost Metal are a trilogy, and then it's like, by the way, we went on this quest in between these two,
And here's some stuff that
and
we
here's some stuff that we did, and
did.
we found this really fucking powerful thing, and it's gonna come up later for sure.
So you need to watch the side quest so that you know what's happening.
Yeah. So is that a B for you?
Yeah, okay, it's a B.
All right, interesting. All
I
right,
would say a B.
a B for bands.
But Lost Metal gets an A.
An A?
Plus, 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 plus.
Not S, but A.
No.
It can't be in the S because of those two
Yeah.
characters. Yeah. Okay. So Lost Metal. All right. So anytime I'm in a reading order for this, I always tell people, I'm like, when you leave Secret History, you can either go to Roshar, you can go to Way of Kings, or you can stay on Scadrial and you can read Era 2. But the thing is, you can't read Lost Metal
No.
because Lost Metal spoils everything for the Stormlight archive. So I actually have a couple people that are going that route that are going to circle back to Lost Metal at the end. So you can't really read these all four of them together unless you just don't plan on reading anything else. And I highly don't advise that.
Yeah, because you'll be a little bit confused.
Yeah, and you're gonna miss out on tons of amazing characters and world building. So
But I can't give it an S because some things go down that I do not approve of.
yeah. Oh
But
geez.
I also understand sort of approve of because it was good story, but I hate it. So
Lost Metal is the most emotionally impactful moment
yeah, I
in
cried
the
like a
whole
baby
Cosmere.
for like an hour.
Yeah, she was so upset.
I was so upset.
She was so upset that we actually convinced someone else to read these books because of how upset she was at the end. I was tremendously upset too. I was actually here, and you like came home from somewhere, and I was just on the couch, just
Just you were just like and I was like, "Are you okay?"
no.
No. No, and I was not either.
So we are going to give this one an A, and I'm giving it an A and not an S because there are two characters in there that are super tropey and very unlike anything that Brandon would normally do, and I get why they put them in there, but I just hate them, and it's not the right kind of antagonist hate. It's the get off the page hate, you know.
Yeah, see, I don't think that I will I don't know that I'll ever read Lost Metal again. Not because of them,
But just because of the ending.
but because of, the Hobbit ending.
I see. I see. That's fair. Uh, I don't know. I might. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes for them to come out with Mistborn Era 3 and whether I feel like I need to reread it before
Yeah, a refresh. Okay, maybe I would skim it for a
for
refresh.
a refresh.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to like last couple chapters, you'd be like,
You're like,
I remember
"That's
what
it,
happens
I'm
then.
done, thank you."
Yeah. That one chapter at the very end, though, after that happens.
Okay, yeah, I can
Yeah.
fast forward to that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. And we can't say.
no.
Sorry. Maybe one day in the future we'll do a spoiler version of this, and it'll be like if you read all these books already, then
Proceed.
then proceed. Yeah. Um. Okay. So we are done with Scadrial. We have. Let's pop over to Nalthus and let's talk about Warbreaker.
I love it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I wish my hair did that.
So both you and Lauren loved this book.
It's amazing. I love this book. It's so wonderful. Um, it really is. It's just great.
It's
It's snarky.
it is snarky. I love it too. It is it's with the Lantern and bands for me though.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, for me personally.
Okay, then can you agree on an A
We
minus?
can meet in the middle because it's like an S plus to
Yeah,
you.
like an 89,
Yeah,
90.
yeah, we can stick it up there next to Lost Metal. I tell you what, as a matter of fact, we'll move it up here to the front.
Okay.
It can be at the front of the A's.
I disappeared. Awesome.
There we go. There, we can put it at the front of the
Yes,
A's.
I love this book. I love this book. And uh Light Song is amazing.
Yes,
Yes.
Light Song is one of my favorite characters in the whole Cosmere.
He's great.
Um,
Okay. So
okay, and there's only one book on Alchemist for now, but there is a second book announced, which is Nightblood, which I'm really hyped for. That.
I am too.
Yeah, don't bring swords to life. Popping over to Roshar now. We have this is here we go.
I'm gonna win.
No.
Way of Kings, it's an S.
Way of Kings. I mean, yeah, it is. It's an
Okay.
S. It's an S. I can't argue with you on that. It's definitely an S. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna put it like way up here in the front. Yeah, I think it's gonna get moved up this to the front. Listen, Way of Kings is a tremendous. It's just such a good book.
I'm
You're
disappearing.
disappearing.
Yeah, my excitement level just made me fade.
The camera can't capture it.
I love this book so much. Most people think that it took too long for the world building. I think that it was amazing and wonderful, and I needed it. I ate all that up.
Well, the cool thing about all the world building in that book is like 600 pages of world building, but from that moment forward, they're done with it and they just take off and like they just keep going. I mean, it goes on.
He told me that I was going to have a hard time, and I was like, no hard time detected. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't put this book down.
It took me 3 tries to get into this book. I thought I was going to DNF this book, but it didn't happen.
I'm so glad.
I know, yeah, but the third time I was like, okay, this is it. I'm really into it. And by the end of it, I like immediately picked up Words of Radiance and blasted through it. Like it's just yeah, it's Way of Kings has such a good ending too.
Oh my gosh, it really does.
Yeah, that ending is tremendous. And even if I wanted to spoil it for you, me explaining it just wouldn't do it justice.
No,
It wouldn't
you
hold
need
the
to.
gravity of it.
You
Yeah,
need to be there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so good.
I've actually had a couple people where like I suggested Way of Kings to them first because I thought that they would get into it more than Mistborn, and I'm like, however, here's 1100 pages. Here you go.
So I guess also with Way of Kings on like a I don't know a morbidly happy front. Brandon Sanderson really understands depression.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's something that's so like anytime he does anything, DID, bipolar disorder, depression, even he even there's even like an autistic character. Like he really researches these things and he talks to people that have these conditions and he makes sure that his writing like reflects like
And
that. And I think that's really important.
still has ADHD.
Oh yeah,
I would say that.
actually, don't all the spread though, except for pattern.
Well, yeah, pattern's special.
Patterns, yeah, patterns just like pattern is pattern. So, yeah, yeah, okay, definitely yes. There was never going to be any argument on that.
Okay, yay.
The argument is whether Words of Radiance is better.
No, it's not.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's not.
Such a great book.
It's a good book. It is a good book. I will give you that, but it's not better than Way of Kings.
It is an S to you though.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is not better than
We
Way
can
of
at least go ahead and
Kings.
slide it up there. I'll tell you what. Just for you, I'll leave Way of Kings up there in the front.
Aw, thanks.
I'm bad at this. I'll leave it up there in the front. However, anybody who's watching, you should comment on this wherever you're watching it and settle this debate for us. And if you're watching it on Spotify or listening to it on Spotify, I'll actually put a poll on Spotify, and you can vote and you can settle this debate for us if you've read both of these, whether Way of Kings or Words of Radiance is the superior book. But they're both amazing.
Reasons why it's better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have to include that. I can't do that in the poll, but you can comment on it.
Yeah, but I know why it is. So
Why is Way of Kings better?
White Kings is better because it's one, it builds that relationship with yeah. Can I say these things? I don't know if I can
Yeah,
say these
sure, sure.
things with Kaladin and Syl.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And that's like really, really important to me. I love that. And then Words of Radiance, I just
I agree that Shallan's backstory is not as good as Kaladin, but the things that happen in Words of Radiance, it has better moments to me because it's all that payoff from everything that they built up in Way of Kings. Like so many big payoffs happen, and I think that's where it is for me.
it's so bitter.
Yeah.
It's so bitter.
Would it if Kaladin had the skateboard in the shades, would that do it for you? like
Yeah.
in the like in the meme. That's a meme reference, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a deep cut.
I mean, this I'm not gonna take away from its really awesome moments. There are a ton of really amazing moments, but Way of Kings is better.
Mm, okay,
Mhm.
I can't agree with you, but I do understand your argument. To me, it's just to me like Words of Radiance, like you don't have that build up. It's like it just hits the ground running from the last page of Way of Kings, and it just doesn't stop. And yeah, it's my favorite book. Period, hands down, love it. So, but there is no Words of Radiance without Way of Kings. So, there is that. Let's talk about this next one. Actually, before we go to Oathbringer, let's talk about Edge Dancer.
Oh,
You vanished.
I did. I love Edge Dancer.
Yeah, this is available in the Arcanum. It's also available as a standalone. It's a little novella about a character called Lift that gets introduced to you through the interludes inside of Words of Radiance, and she becomes, to say that she is important later would be an understatement.
No, she's amazing.
Yeah, Edge Dancer for me, I'm gonna throw. I think this was an A.
Yeah, I would say it's an A. I don't think it gets an S, but it is definitely an A.
It's tremendous. I had such a good time reading this, and you know, just to reiterate, there's not anything bad on this whole thing. Like even well, which to me is the worst. It's down there by itself in
I know,
the
it's so
C plus.
lonely.
Oh, you want to put dress down there with it? We can. No.
I didn't say that, I just said it was
You said it
lonely.
was lonely. I'm just joking about Tress. We'll get there in a second, but yeah. So Edge Dancer, definitely an A. Loved this. It got me so hyped for the next novella that we'll get to in a second. But let's talk about the third Stormlight Archive book, which so Edge Dancer takes place between 2 and 3. So let's talk about Oathbringer because this one's all over the place.
Liked it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think the end is one of the best endings to any book ever.
That is true. I can go with that.
However,
However,
it definitely can't be an S to me.
me too.
I couldn't put it in
It's
S.
not an S. It's not an S.
It's an A or a B for me. Uh,
I dare say B, honestly.
like it would be a C if the ending weren't.
But the ending is really good.
Yeah, the ending is an S. If like you're talking about just the ending is an S. But the way that they get there and the Dalinar backstory too, all the Dalinar backstory stuff is tremendous. Like if you just took the Dalinar backstory and the end, and you just pulled that out and made it a book, it's definitely an S. But like everything that I didn't just mention, um, it just goes on for what felt like forever to me. It was like we were just spinning tires to get to Rhythm of War for some of it.
It does feel a little bit long-winded, but it the end kind of is the payoff.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we're gonna put that in the B category. I think that I would get an angry text immediately if we put it any higher than that. At least one angry text.
Oh.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Lauren. I think Oathbringer is her least favorite Cosmere book. I
Oh,
think it's yeah. Like
least
it's
favorite.
yeah, I think so.
Mm. I
uh
mean, I can understand.
yeah, me too. Because of things.
Yeah.
Um Now, between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War, we got a novella called Dawn Shard.
Yes.
And this is an S to me.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Very much
Well,
so.
we're gonna go ahead and stick it.
Definitely an S. I've read it like 3 times.
Yeah, this is Risen's story, or is it Ryzen?
I
I don't
actually
know.
I haven't listened to the audiobook for this one, so I don't know how to pronounce it.
I call her Risen, but I think like that may be wrong. But either way, it doesn't matter because, as Brandon has said, on different planets, people will pronounce the names differently. So there's no real correct way. Um, However, yeah, this was amazing. It reminded me a lot of like Voyage of the Dawn Treader, like from the like Chronicles of Narnia. It was like
Oh,
that kind of a
yeah, it
it,
was so good.
and that's my favorite C.S. Lewis book too. So this was like
It was
it,
a great side quest,
it's an amazing side quest, and we have the Lopen chapters too.
and I love Lopen
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all of his cousins.
yeah, and all his stuff. Yeah, gotcha. So yeah, this was incredible. I loved it. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about Dawn Shard. I read this in maybe one sitting, maybe two.
Yeah, I really liked the portrayal of characters with disabilities,
Yes,
where they were not their disability was not a disability.
and it's not their character.
No.
It's not like that's one of the things about Risen, like and I don't think this is a huge spoiler. Very early on, in even all the way back in Way of Kings, she like becomes paralyzed from the waist down because she does something real dumb,
Yeah.
and and yeah, I mean, but she is in herself just a fully fleshed out, amazing character outside of that, and that's
And Lopen.
and yeah, and Lopin too, and that's just one of the just the huge strengths I think of Sanderson as an author. So
Yeah, because Lopen only has one hand
one arm, yeah,
or one arm. Where does his arm stop?
yeah. We need to that'd be that. All right, so the next time Sanderson does his convention or whatever, I need him to show me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I need to you just show me the
But that's never stopped him from doing anything. And that was also something I loved about Kaladin and Way of Kings is he never looked at that as a hindrance of Lopen. He
right.
worked with it,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Um,
Lopen became a huge asset.
yeah, yeah, for sure, and all his cousins. So then we got Rhythm of War. Uh,
Okay, so there are parts of this book that I absolutely 100% adore. And then there are parts of this book
that
that
keep
I
it from being an S.
100% hate.
Does it have anything to do with some a couple characters that maybe aren't human and have like carapace skin and
Well, I'm gonna go with don't try to make me like characters who are just unlikable.
we won't name any names, but if you've read this book, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Are we thinking an A for this one
Yeah, I would go with an A. It can't get an S because
because of those? Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
backstories. If you take the backstories out of them war, it's an S. But they're there. And so yeah, it can't get an S. But I love this book too. The Sandra Lance in this book is like 400 pages.
Yeah, it's really intense.
You just get smashed over the head with like big reveal, big reveal, big reveal, huge thing. Also, this is like a Cosmere version of Die Hard as well.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah. Plus, also in this one, I really, really love Navani.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Navani, give me all the Navani science chapters
I feel
forever.
like this is like okay. Whereas we had Shadows of Self, where Steris became Steris. This is really where Navani became Navani.
Yeah, yeah, I love her here. Yeah, tremendous. Um, yeah, that wraps up Rashar for us. So we got one more.
Tress.
We have Tress of the Emerald Sea. This is the latest Cosmere book to be released. And you read it first, which I figured was going to happen.
I loved it so much. It was written in a very whimsical way, and so it's full of whimsy. And
Not the shard though that we know of. That we know of.
and the planet is just the planet wants to kill you.
Yeah, yeah,
It really does.
yeah. Out of all the planets in the Cosmere, Lumar is pretty far down the list of like places where
I
you want to live.
don't think I want to live there because accidental death is really achievable.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's very high. Like yeah. I don't think I ever want to. I don't even want to visit.
No, nah. You can just tell me about it. I ain't going there.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been told about it. And the person that narrates this is an in-world character, and it is tremendous. I think this one needs to be an S.
Yes, I agree. Uh, read everything before you read this one.
Yeah. So so kind of the reading order that I would tell people to go in is like read the first three Mistborn and then Secret History. And then I would say go to Way of Kings. And like Way of Kings, Warbreaker, Words of Radiance, Edge Dancer, Oathbringer, um, and then Dawn Charge, Rhythm of War. And then I would tell people to go back and read On Interest and Emperor's Soul. Um, and then, circle back around to Lost Metal. And then I would say Tress at the very end. Um,
It's so good.
yeah, it's tremendously good. And you could wait and read all of Era 2 Mistborn there at the end, like where I was like circle back to Lost Metal. You could just not read any of Era 2 and just read it all right there, and then you actually could read everything.
That's fair.
But yeah, I would say Trust of the Emerald Sea, save it for all of this because you really only need to have read the original Mistborn trilogy to not get spoiled, but there's so many just wonderful little references and nods and stuff, and you really need a huge understanding, I think, of the Cosmere whole to fully understand this book. And also, there's so many of the chapter names where it's just Brandon just messing with us. Like they named a chapter like The Survivor, and you're like, ooh, what's that about?
Ooh.
And then it's like nothing, And
It's great. It's wonderful. And if you have seen a physical copy, the book is absolutely beautiful.
yeah, I wish I had it here where I could show it to you because it's on next time in the studio. It's on the shelves, and I actually will. I think I no, I did a short YouTube review of it. So go check that out, and I show some of the book there. It
It's
is
just,
amazing.
I think, as far as like a physical book representation, like this book is what books should look like. This book is lovely.
It's the most beautiful book I've ever like had hands on. So I'm really excited for the other three whenever we get them. So Uh, that wraps up our ranking of the Cosmere. So wherever you're watching this, let us know what your ranking is, or what you thought about it, or if you thought that our ideas were real dumb, or if you liked them, or whatever.
Yeah, I have a hard time being harsh, so I
We,
think this was my best attempt.
this was a great attempt. I thought I was gonna have to wrangle all of these out of the S
I'll
category
concede on a few things.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Before we go, why don't you tell people where they can find your Crochet Fairy stuff?
Okay, so I make cool little crocheted things. Like it's a Brandon Sanderson book, but it's not in the Cosmere. I make a little doom slug. He's adorable. But yeah, you can find me on the crochetfairy.net and then the Crochet Fairy on like all the other types of social media.
Yeah, check out her stuff. It is awesome. And yeah, so we will be back in the studio shortly. I have not decided what we are going to do yet. I have a bunch of ideas for this season, but I have not nailed it down yet. At some point, we're gonna have to talk about Rings of Power. Uh,
You did that just
just to
to
get a
make me
just to
angry.
get a reaction
Oh
out
my
of you.
god, I hate that show.
But yeah, we're gonna have to we that's like just kind of stare me in the face or whatever. But there is a writer strike going on, and there's not a lot of stuff coming out. I will say too, by the time that this airs, I will probably have already reviewed The Flash over on Superhero Homies, so go and check that out as well. But for now, this has been Entertainment Evolved, and thanks for joining us.